out there on the field for
Awesome,
you guys?
because the intensity level picks up and the sense of urgency about every play is a big deal. I mean, the defense won by 1 point today on the last play of the day, so that's a huge deal.
Can you give us a breakdown as to what these points are actually awarded for? I thought it was like 167, 166. Literally completely over my head there.
Well, it's just competition. It's one-on-one. It would be a one-on-one drill or a team drill. Does the defense stop the offense? Does they sack the offense? Do they tackle for loss? Tackle for the ball carrier less than 5 yards? Does the offense gain a first down? Does the offense execute a good running play? I mean, it goes all day long. We have a one-on-one pass rushing drill to start practice. There's one-on-one pass drills between receivers, defensive backs. So it literally goes on the entire day. So it's awesome.
It's been said that the tight ends might be one of the deepest position groups around the country here in Oregon. How are you seeing out? What are you seeing out of those guys so far?
Well, we got 3 guys that are seniors. So, I mean, a couple years ago, they were asking me questions about how you're going to get these young puppies to, learn to shave and play in the game. I mean, now they got 3 older guys that know what they're doing. So that's going to allow us to utilize them a little bit more, do more few things we haven't done in years past, just because of the fact that we got a chance to have multiple guys and use them multiple tight end sets. So whether it be in the running game or play action pass or all the above, like it just gives a chance to work some more packages with them. So.
Physicality in practice has been brought up, a lot here and there, and especially with the pads on the first day. What is the physicality like, on a day like today?
Well, it's been more than it was with, helmets only. I mean, it's great, the intensity level, because it's playing real football. And I've shared with the guys that they can work out and lift and run all they want all summer long. But it's different than when a guy's coming off the ball trying to take your nose off. So having the pads on allows guys to learn that process again about having to play with pad level, and whether it be at the line of scrimmage, a back taking on a tackler, a tackler tackling somebody, a guy releasing downfield. It's awesome. But you have to balance that, because you can't do it too much, because you can't beat them up. So there's always that fine line between trying to keep them healthy yet still practice it.
Is that kind of just a judgment call day to day? Just kind of get a feel of what is that line?
We just roll the dice and say, hey, we do have it all planned out in advance. So sometimes we'll back off because we have a lot of guys beat up. We had to do that in spring ball a little bit in terms of the contact with pads. So we do have it all scheduled, all the way through camp for 3 weeks, when we're going to do it, when we're not going to do it, when our light days, when our heavy days in terms of hitting. But we can't change that based upon numbers of guys we have. So.
With pads today, who really shown out today in practice? With throwing pads on today, who's really, kind of impressed you so far?
That's so hard, because I know it sounds like coach talk, but I haven't watched the film yet. So, it's going 1,000 miles an hour. That's a hard question to answer until I see it. I know it sounds bad. I'm sorry,
No, it's okay.
Until I see the film and I can rewind it 100 times. We have some really good players. Yeah. So those kind of guys, the Royce Freemans, the Charles Nelsons, the Farrell Browns, those guys stick out on offense. Those guys stick out, So, how well some of the linemen did today, the first day in pads, or how some of the other tight ends did, or how guys on defense. There's just too many moving parts to say that right now.
With pads on, though, was it a little tended today maybe, or were players, full go, really excited to get those high?
We don't take anybody in the ground. We don't cut anybody. We don't block anybody in the ground. We don't tackle anybody in the ground. We don't throw anybody in the ground, hit anybody in the ground. So, it's very physical, but at the same time, we're not putting people on the ground for the risk of injuries. So, I thought it was awesome today. That's what it should be. It's competition day, and our guys were pretty fired up all the way to the end. So.
What about with Aiden and Ian? Those guys are both pretty proven, especially Aiden Schneider. But what have they done this summer to kind of improve their game going next year?
Well, and you want to include Matt Wogan in there too. Those guys have worked on their technique and their consistency. Aiden is so consistent kicking field goals. His technique he's tried to improve on as time's gone on. He has the right, perfect mentality to be a field kicker, because if he missed it, it didn't bother him. They can boo and yell and write and yell how he did not very good. They're not going to bother him. Right back out and kick the next one. So some kickers, because you only get a chance to play 1 or 2 or 3 plays a game, if they don't do well, then they start to spiral downhill from a confidence standpoint, and let all that negativity get to them. Aiden doesn't bother him, but his technique's much better than it was. The thing that Aiden's done a great job of, he's completely changed his approach on kickoffs, and he's a lot better than he was 2 years ago. Matt Wogan, he was healthy last year for the first time in 3 years, and so he flat out crushed it last year. He's better now than he was a year ago. He just looks like his hips are stronger, and he has better leg speed than he's had in the years past, because he's one of those guys that you got to back him off from working so hard, because Matt's a workaholic. He'll lift weights 12 hours a day and go out and kick the other 12 if you let him. That's just how he is, which is great, but you got to back him off. So he's looked great kicking off in camp. and Ian's still working on the consistency of things, the fundamentals of things, maintaining confidence, trying to be consistent, punt after punt after punt, and he's gotten better at his rhythm, getting the ball off, the timing, if you will, than he has in years past. So.
Punt coverage struggled at times last year. Why do you think that was, and is that something you guys have addressed, or how will that be better this next season?
Well, it's easy. When you get a flat ball right down the middle of the field, I don't care if you have the U.S. Olympic team out there, you can't cover it. So if you got to get a good punt. If you don't have a good punt, you have no chance to cover it. I mean, you have zero chance. So, the year before, I mean, you're comparing years. The year before, we were phenomenal. We had 35 yards the whole year in 14 games. This year we gave it 3 big plays because the punts were right down the field. They were Buster Posey line drives. I mean, you're not going to cover those on a consistent basis. It's just, we had one against Stanford. We had a line drive. Christian McCaffrey is one of the best players, if not the best player in college football. Catch the ball, and we tackle him for a 5-yard loss. Okay? Next game, a punt's exactly the same way, and our gunners can't get there. Our guys can't get off in time. They can't get over their guys in time and escape their blocks. The ball goes the other way. I mean, it all starts with the punt. And like our kickoff last year was exceptional because our kickoffs were good. I mean, the ball was kicked well with enough hang time and enough placement. We get our guys down and cover it. So it's all based upon how the kick is, or the punt.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure. Thank you.